Welcome back, Deadbeats. Here we are to another episode of Irish Wake Tarot here. Appreciate you guys always tuning back in. Fair warning, I am a little beat. I am on 13 plus straight days of constant work. No rest for the weary. What can we say? Um, but feeling that Virgo energy. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch the Virgo reading, that is up and posted and available there, kicking off your Virgo season. So that's available. Cool. Some places you can find me if you are in the Richmond area this month here. So on the 12th, I'll be at River City Roll from about 5 p.m. Starting time there till 7, 8, 9. You know me, I go as long as they'll stay till they kick me out, of course. Then the next day on the 13th, I'll be back actually over at Passion Project, doing some tarot readings there for Friday the 13th. Honestly, gonna be starting around noon there, and pretty much going all day until about 8 p.m. that night. Or same deal. If people are showing up, I'm gonna stick around and keep doing them readings because you know me, I'm here for it. I'm here for you guys. Beyond all that, on the 26th, I think it is. Let me double check my calendar. I should have been ready with that here. But on the 26th, yes, I got it right. I'll be back again over at the Unhappy Hour at the Poe Museum. A miserable time from 6 to 9. There's food, there's drinks, there's music and entertainment, and of course, there's me. So come get a tarot reading. I'll be working for tips and donations there. So especially if you're a little tight on money, it's not a bad way to do it. I love to see you guys there. I love having a nice little line at those things. And then from the 21st through about the 29th, I will be at Cut and Run Vintage. Partnering up with Studio 23 as well for a bit of a market they've got going on. So if you're doing weekdays from like 11 to 5, weekends as well there. So come check out any of those times, any of those things there too. Also available for parties, weddings, special occasions. Halloween bookings are starting. I've already got some dates on the calendar in October, so we'll get back on more of that a little bit later there too. But if you guys want to have me at your party, your group gatherings, things along those lines, weddings are starting to pick up for me as well too. So I'd love to be there at your special day, or get it on a corporate event. Get it on the boss's time. You can see if they can hook you up with those readings. Then if they can enjoy it for free and have a good time there. But yeah, I guess I'd say without further ado, let's get things started. I really have no theme, no preparation here. We're just going to totally wing this completely. I'd say I'm pretty exhausted, so maybe we can make the general theme here exhaustion, as it were, shaking off those feelings of tired. I don't know if you guys are feeling that pragmatic earth energy of the Virgo season, working hard. I know I am working hard, washing the proverbial dishes. Again, I like to give all my Virgo friends, and I am a Virgo cusper, so I feel like I'm allowed to joke about it. The fact that they all just, they can't let a dish go by. They can't leave it unscrubbed. They can't let these things unattended to. I know I have been, feeling kind of that workaholic energy that kind of comes with the Virgo spirit working through these things. I've also been feeling the analysis level too. I think in some of my posts, and even in the last reading, did call out how they can be a little bit overly critical, and I'm not criticizing anyone again because these are examinations with myself. And I also do think when we're kind of falling into these seasons, I think a part of us brings in all the energies of these signs. I think with Leo season, we're meant to shine and sparkle and whatever and have a good time up there. Well, I feel lately, am I doing enough? Am I working enough? And quite honestly, I have. I've been really burning the candle at both ends, all ends, every ends, all of the ends. Here, between doing Lyft, between doing my new job here, and then just hustling and trying to make all the tarot stuff happen and work. And then there's just life in general. And, I can't help but coming back to my finances and being like, oh, I could have made more. I could have done this. I could have worked harder on that. But it's like, we do the best with the time that we've got. I'm grateful to at least have the income that I do. I'm grateful for those that, reach out and support. Birthday was a big success too, so I had a blast with that there as well. And I appreciate everyone that has reached out and donated from that end too, or just reach out with kind words and support and things along those lines. Now we are out of Leo season, so I'm going to stop dwelling on all that, making it all about me like a Leo do. But for real, I do want to extend my gratitude to those that offer donations, kind words, messages, little presents, things along those lines there too. So, all right, let's jump into it. I guess the theme is kind of casting off the exhaustion that we're feeling here too. As per usual, I'm going to be using our Irish wake spread. I do have these mats available for $10. If you want, I can ship one out to you all laminated and pretty fancy like this. I also have digital copies, so I could send that for $5 if you guys want to play at home. But also feel free if you want to. I share these spreads. You don't even necessarily need one, at the risk of selling myself a little short here too. You can just kind of use the spread itself. So first card is going to be what we're bearing, what we're releasing, what we're letting go of. Second card is going to be our what's our poison, as that bartender will be asking us, and as we know that to be both a medicinal purpose as well as a toxic vice of sorts. So we're going to look at the bittersweetness of that second card, and then last but not least, we're going to find something to toast, something to celebrate, something moving forward, looking to the future. All right, here we go. Let's get things started. So we've got the Ace of Cups. Ooh, I always love this card. I know I always call out a lot of, these are my favorites. These are good. And granted, I have a lot of favorites. I mean, really, we should love all of our children the same, but there's ones I'm quite partial to. As you guys know, I have my Knight of Cups tattoo. I do like leading with my heart, with my emotions, with my feelings, because I think that is what really makes us human. A big part of these things here. So, and aces, as I've often said, is the start of a journey, a beginning of a process, a new cycle. Things. This can come from an opportunity, whether we meet someone new, whether we have a new love interest, as it were. Maybe we're having a family opportunity, or situations. These could be something bothering us in love or romance, or with our family or with our friends or the people we care about. Could also just be an idea or an epiphany that we're sort of working through here. Maybe something we want to do to leave our heart feeling happy, fulfilled, joy, satisfied. Like I said, the cups I do associate with that heart. We want to fill it with good things, healthy things, nourishing things, just like the heart itself on there. And if you'll notice too, it is shining nice and bright there. And I think that's kind of the goal for all of us. We don't want to put those pressures on things, if we're feeling lonely in love or missing out, socially or with a lot of those interactions. And it's hard, and being in sort of this workaholic atmosphere and coming into a lot of the things I've done lately. I've been feeling these emotional tugs. I get frustrated when people have things that I don't have, or that I think I should have, or that I want, but have to remind myself I've chosen a different path, or my circumstances might just prevent that from right now. And I have different pursuits, different endeavors, and that's okay too. But if you're feeling love, go for that love. Shoot your shot if it feels appropriate. You can come in with a plan of action. Nothing wrong with that. If you feel like you've decided you want to leave a job for something that's a little more fulfilling, exciting, something that brings you joy, something that you're good at, that you think you could really kind of relish the opportunity and do a lot more with than punching them numbers or just clocking in and clocking out, or if customer service leaves you feeling drained and exhausted. I know that all too well. Maybe you do something where you can be a little more isolated and recharge. With my Firewatch job, I probably shouldn't have said that on there, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I basically go around kind of patrolling for different fires, signs of fires, things along those lines. I just don't want to mention the employer just because whatever. But, it's really simple endeavor. It's a lot of walking, a lot of stairs and things like that. So that's probably the hardest part of it too. But it does give me a chance to focus on the other things I'm doing. There's a lot of downtime in between these checks and things. They say bring a book, or something to entertain yourself. And so I bring a lot of my tarot work, and get that stuff prepped and done, get my promotions done on Canva, things along those lines. And it's leaving me with a little more energy. Right now, I'm still a little overworked, a little stressed, but that's not because of the job itself. It's just the transition from getting paid daily with Lyft to getting paid weekly with this new opportunity. So, that in of itself, as I'm transitioning through it all, as I'm getting used to it, is going to give me that flexibility to focus on the things I need to do, the things I want to do. Hell, even, I can make phone calls and things in between these checks, so I can get all that stuff done. I got to check back on this. I got to find out about that thing. I got to make this call. I've been dreading it. But using that at work is kind of like, hey, it's literally bringing work to work, getting all these things done. And while the hours aren't necessarily perfect for what I like, it does work for me. I don't feel like I'm missing too many things. I don't feel like I'm running into any problems or issues. It's going to have its caveats, but that's a job. I think it is leaving me a little happier, a little more excited about things, and give me a lot more flexibility to, again, work on the stuff that I really want to do and pursue. And I think that's important. I think anything in your life that makes your heart sing, you should go after it. It doesn't mean you need to go nuts. You don't need to love bomb it or be crazy about it. Let it breathe as it needs to, but pursue it at a pace that feels best to you. Virgos are associated with the Pentacles on there. That's their suit, which is the slowest moving suit because it takes a while for those things to manifest. It requires pragmatic, logical thinking, focused determination, and hard work. So if you need to pace yourself to make these things be real, then do that. And, if we're talking in terms of exhaustion, that's good for the heart. It's hard, if I'm pushing to sleep in a little bit or I'm compromising things that I want to do. At the end of the day, it is so I can feel emotionally sound and kept and healthy. And I think it's good for me. And for us, for everybody. It's not just about me, obviously. All right, it says, my heart is open and filled with love. My heart is open and filled with love. One more time. My heart is open and filled with love. And you should open your heart and fill it with love and good, happy, and healthy and exciting things. And I think that'll reward you in the end. I think it really will, even if it takes a little time for those things to manifest into fruition, or to see the fruits of those labors. But it will. I know it. All right, next card is what's our poison right here. So this is our bittersweet card here, and we have the Judgment card. And my God, I feel like this card keeps showing up. I'll have to go back and double check some of these, but I believe it was in the Hero's Journey, and I think it was actually, I want to say, in our last 3-card reading. I'm going to double check this because my brain's shot. What can I say? But I do love this card. I always remind myself that it is this being on this precipice of the end of the major arcana cycle, and reminder that the major arcana is kind of like VIP in the tarot world. It's a bigger part of your existence, your day-to-day, your constant fate, destiny, if you want to throw it into all those things. You do you, but it's a big part of it. And right before we hit that world card, that big conclusion of a cycle, where we kind of, moving into new cycles. And the world card itself, following it, is associated with victory. So do remind yourself you're on that home stretch of victory. I like to remind people there is that final phase with good things coming on the way. But we are moving to our higher self, our better self. And with that judgment, I always like to think of like the proverbial gavel being dropped down, coming to a conclusion, a resolution, making these decisions. Because before, a court case concludes, the judge has got to kind of make the, the final say, the final sentence on these things. So, if you're moving away from things, then it's that decision to say, hey, do I stay or do I go with it? If you're moving towards something big, a big job, a marriage, a relationship, a project being completed, anything along those lines, then it is you kind of making those final nips and tucks, crossing those T's, dotting them I's, deciding what makes sense, what's got to stay, what's got to go. And so we can feel like that powerful, strong dancer spirit emerging, because if we're also kind of talking about our heart singing, then I think this is a beautiful poetic take on that heart singing, that it's affecting our whole body. The heart is very much at the kind of the core of the body. I always kind of say the two primary things that make our bodies function really are kind of our heart and our brain up here too. Those are the two big pieces of our actual biology. We can see them, we can touch them, we can feel them, and they literally produce a lot of life into our body. to make these things happen. And so with that heart singing and elevating, it is going to rise us to new things. It's going to give us those hits of dopamine that we need, that serotonin, all that good stuff that's on there, and the head will keep us motivated, and the heart will give us that lasting fulfillment, that joy in those things. So I think we're moving towards bigger and better things, but with these conclusions, things get lost, things get separated, sacrifices have to be made. Most importantly, with the judgment card, it's important to make sure we're not judging others too harshly or judging ourselves, and those two can go hand in hand. When I'm talking about jealousy, envy, a lot of those things too, I'll get critical of friends, family, people that have things that I don't have that I wish I could. Right now I'm exhausted, and when you see people having fun, you're like, oh, I wish I could take a break. I wish I could get a vacation, things like that. And so we can't be that hard on ourselves, because we are reminding ourselves, I am sacrificing and I'm working to give myself a bigger and better life. While I've had my challenges in the corporate world, I can't make that the end all be all. And that's a life that I have had to walk away from, even if, I felt ostracized, lost from it, even arguably kicked out of it, depending on how you want to look at it, all of it there. But that's because these things weren't for me. It's nice to have a lot of that stuff, but I never feel fulfilled. I never feel satisfied. And I never really got the validation I was looking for, the promotions, the raises. Don't get me wrong. I had my victories throughout and some things working for me, but in the end, I just don't think it was where I was meant to be and what I was meant to do. I'm meant to move towards these higher elevated things. And I think the same for you, especially if you are following your heart, especially if you are doing what leaves you emotionally satisfied, fulfilled, romantic pursuits, labors of love, things along those lines. And I think that will help you come to the conclusion that you need, so you can find the right stuff for you. But the juice is going to be worth the squeeze. If it's something you feel that it is worth pursuing, and sometimes even deciding, it might not be the thing for us. It might not have turned out the way we wanted. We can either pivot slightly and update our approach, things along those lines, or we let it go altogether. And that's fine too. That's a very hard sacrifice. I know it, but it will absolutely be worth it. No matter what, you will learn lessons from these experiences, for better or worse, and that'll help you go back after your heart again, things that work for you. All right, let's see here. It says, hello, Essence. I invite you to show up every day. I invite my soul to shine unapologetically. Hello, Essence. I invite you to show up every day. I invite my soul to shine unapologetically. One more time. I know we've heard this message a few times, but again, even though we're coming out of Leo season, doesn't mean we can't still shine. I think that's the reminder. I think that's a big takeaway we should keep with us year round. We should always be willing to shine, and keep that with us. And it says, hello, Essence. I invite you to show up every day. I invite my soul to shine unapologetically, and do that. Don't apologize for the things that you're doing. If it makes sense, if it works for you, if it's building towards bigger and better things, I think you're going to get there. I think it's going to be a judgment worth having. If we are starting out on the Ace of Cups, so we're beginning a journey, an idea, an epiphany, a want, a goal, what have you, and we're working through the process, finding the steps, and we're feeling kind of the verge of the full conclusion of that major arcana on the home stretch of that world card here. That victory, that cycle concluding, that resolution of sorts. And we end with the 10 of Cups, which is abundance, true happiness, true satisfaction, a world, a family, if that's what you're going for. It's often depicted as a family card, and family can be in any way that you define, whether that's the friends that you bring in, whether it's all the fur babies that you want to adopt, whether it's the kids that you're adopting, whether it's your biological kids, whether you say, you know what, no pets, no kids, no nothing, it's just me and my partner, or even just me, even if it's just you, even if you're your family, you're your community, or even just being around your siblings, your parents, your cousins. I say family could be by blood or by bond, but, it is the world that we create for ourselves. But just knowing that we go down that journey to end and conclude with this abundance. If we're on that precipice of a conclusion, and then here's what we're toasting, here's what we're celebrating, here's what we're moving towards to with our future. This is a great place to be. I mean, look at this. There's cups of plenty. There's a nice little rainbow all throughout, just showing that spectrum of love and happiness and joy and satisfaction and fulfillment. I mean, that's what we want. If we're looking for love, we want abundant love. We want it to feel fun and exciting. We want to feel like we've made our mark. We've had that achievement. We've built towards these things. I don't know. This made me really happy. I have to say, I was really exhausted again going into this thing, and here I am, getting that reinvigoration. Getting that energizing feeling. Which, if we are on the home stretch with the Judgment card, we're on that last lap. We want to feel that little burst of energy. We need that little kick to motivate us. Sometimes when we are exhausted or doing these things, we feel like we're in that marathon. And just seeing the finish line ahead, seeing the fruits of our labor, seeing being so close, it really does say, hey, let me push through. I'm just going to get through. I'm going to make this happen because I can see it right on the horizon. I can see it right there. It's amazing. One of my other decks refers to things only being seen on the edge of the horizon. I think it actually was my St. Jude card, which is, kind of, the patron saint of lost causes. So it's like, a miracle against all odds. Been listening to a lot of that Phil Collins song lately. It's cheesy, but I love it. It's a good song. And, if you see that change from the edge of a horizon, it is hard to see because it is kind of like the little shorthand on a clock, the hour hand. It moves very, very, very slowly that we can't almost even see it. But once we're right on that edge of that horizon, once we see it kind of coming up around the corner, seeing it right there for us, that's when we know it's real. That's when we know it's there for us. And I think it does give us that kick to keep moving, to keep pushing, to make that happen. And, I do hope you find sort of that second life and things with it. I do hope whatever it is that you're pursuing here in love, I do hope you find it. I hope it brings you a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment, because in matters of the heart, we deserve to proceed towards that abundance. We deserve to have a well-formed plan. Let's take that Virgo energy, that focus, that determination, that diligence, and then that critical analysis, because again, we are talking about the Judgment card right before it here too. That critical analysis to make sure we're holding ourselves to a high standard. Not too much pressure, not too much work, but making sure we're still delivering on the quality of things, because if we're putting in quality, we're going to get quality out. Really odd poll, but I remember an old Facts of Life episode where Joe develops a family pizza recipe, and they say, "Oh, let's go into a pizza business and all that too." And it's a sitcom, so it's very cheesy, and the lesson might be a little obvious, but she starts using cheaper, crappier ingredients there too, so the quality drops down. It goes from being this amazing handcrafted pizza that's made with this love, that's felt with this family history and things, to just crappy fast food nonsense too. And I think we deserve to put these quality ingredients in. I think we deserve to kind of check the process of it, make sure it's living up to good, healthy standards there. Don't work ourselves too hard. Don't be overly critical, but really feeling that experience. It says, I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love to my relationships. I love that. I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love to my relationships. One more time. I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love to my relationships. And I think that harmony and love will help us develop any of these relationships, no matter what it is. Family, friends, a loved one, love interests, the projects we're creating, the things that we're building, the things we're pursuing. Because again, if we're starting with an idea, an opportunity, or an epiphany with love in any way, shape, or form, doesn't have to be romantic, and we craft that And we're following the process to the best of our ability, making the hard decisions for our best and highest self, especially if it comes to being exhausted on there. It's so our heart can feel energized. We can feel emotionally capable and competent. That way we're not too hard on ourselves. I myself have been saying, hey, I got to sacrifice a little bit of things here for a little bit of sleep, because if I'm passing out on the job, it's no good. I can't get there. I can't make it happen. I need those resources, those focuses, those sort of energies there, so I can bring in that healthy and exciting and abundant, fulfilling love, because we deserve this last phase here for it. Again, it's one of my favorite cards because I love being with my friends. I love being with my family. I love building these communities and things for myself, and by giving myself that break, that breather, I can do my best. I'll wrap it up here because we're getting a little tight on time, but I'm one of those people. I'm a big proponent of like the 4-day work week, and the 10 to 5 kind of schedules, and everybody says, oh, you just want jobs to pay you more for less work, but history has proven that when we're giving ourselves those accurate and appropriate breaks on there and that room to breathe, that people produce better work. I'm that kind. If I was able to show up at a 10 o'clock gig, I really would put my effort for it. I had a friend question me, like, no, dude, that's not true. And I'm like, no, I goof and things, so I give myself that breathing room, but I can stay focused when I'm shorter on time. I really do try to. People don't realize that, again, I'm a Virgo cusper. I do have that pragmatic energy. I do put a lot of love and determination into the work that I care about. And I've even often been labeled as a class clown at jobs, but these same jobs that call me a class clown, I had my nose to the grindstone while a lot of other people were goofing around and counting their victories and celebrating their wins, and they kept advocating for those people, and that's fine. They deserve success too. But it was silly to me to be called a clown when I've literally shown that I do work when others aren't. And I do have skills and things to bring in, and customers, relationships have all seen that I do care. I put my best foot forward. And again, this isn't about me, but let that be a motivator for you, that even if people don't always see what you're doing and what you're putting forward, just keep putting that best foot forward. And I do think it'll reward. And I think you deserve that abundance of love, whether it's love for yourself. We are talking in a number of ones, so it could be also about taking care of ourselves here. But interpret it all as you see fit. I'm not here to predict the future for you guys here. I'm here to help guide you in intuition. But I will say, I would drink to that. I hope you guys drink to that. So let's raise a glass. And slancha.